this is Alan Peel. I'd like to go over with y'all a little chainsaw etiquette here of how to put a chainsaw bar, chainsaw chain onto your chainsaw. Most of them, they all put together the same way. Very slight difference. The saws that I like running are Steels in the name brand. This is a MS310. I always try to make sure that my air breather is clean. I'm going to take this off and demonstrate to you how to clean it. You can see there's a lot of sawdust and so forth on the breather. You want your saw to be able to breathe. Just like a human, you want to be able to breathe good fresh air. So normally every time that I use my saw and I get through, before I prepare using it again, I'll make sure that the air breather is clean. You take your saw wrench. You have two flathead screws on this particular saw. You're going to loosen these up. And you make several turns counterclockwise. And your air breather is going to come off into your hand. Okay, now that you've got it in your hand, I suggest if you have an air tank or a blower, some source of air, blow this off real good. You don't want any contaminants to get inside your motor because it's not good for your saw. Okay, and then just reinsert this back on here. It'll go back on. Turn your screws clockwise. And when you're putting this on here, you just want to snug it. You just don't want to tighten it so tight that you can't get the screws back loose. You just want to run it up here. And once you feel it, just snug it. Like that. Take your cover, mount it back on here, slide it down. It'll lock back in place and turn your lock up. Okay, now the procedure I'm going to show you how to do now is putting the chain on your bar and mounting the bar onto the saw. I like using a 20-inch bar on my steel saws. They come in 16, 18, 20, 25. When you decide to purchase a saw, talk to your saw dealer, explaining him what you're going to be doing with your saw, and they will help suggest to you what length bar you might need to purchase. All right, what I do, I like laying my saw over on its side, put the chain on the bar. There's different techniques, but this is the technique that I like using. Also, pay close attention. Your chain is going to go clockwise on your bar. You want your drag tooth in front of your chain cutting tooth. Most people I've noticed put the chain on backwards. This is the easiest way to remember. Go clockwise. Your wood drag on your tooth goes in front of your cutting tooth. That way you'll know it will go this way. Okay, the next procedure is I go over my sprocket and then I attach my bar to my saw. There is an adjustment pin that's inside. Let me take this off and show it to you. This is an adjustment pin right here. Most of them have, you insert your saw wrench or flathead screwdriver here. So on some saws, it's on this end. What this does is help you get your chain back on. We're going to back off of this a little bit, counterclockwise. And that's going to help get your chain onto your saw. Okay, once again, I'm laying it on the side. I'm going to put the chain over the sprocket, lay the bar onto the saw. Be real careful because these teeth are real sharp. They will cut you. As you can see, I have the bar and it is laid in the hole of the adjustment pin right here. Okay, when I do it that way, I reach and grab my cover. I lay it on top. you have two nuts that tighten the cover onto the bar. Put these on. Don't tighten them, just snug them. Just a little bit. You just want to be able to have your cover on your bar. Okay, lay your saw over. As you can see, you've got the chain is on the bar. Now this is a sprocket nose bar, and you want to have your chain tightened up. Now, I don't run my chain all the way against the bar. I leave just a little slack. Everybody has their own different purpose, but this is the way I like running mine. Okay, once you do that, make sure your chain's on your bar, then tighten your screws, your nuts, I mean. Once you tighten them up, make sure they're snug so they don't vibrate and come off. Okay, now your chain is on your chainsaw. Okay. I like running 2-cycle mixture, whatever Stihl recommends you to run. There are a lot of them on the market, but I like buying Stihl name brand oil. It goes to your Stihl chainsaw. This is a 50-to-1 mixture. It's 1 container per 1 gallon of gas. I run about a 2-gallon gas can, and I put 2 of these in my gas. The next thing I'd like to share with you is lay your saw over here. Fueling your saw. Always remember, your fuel goes to the right side, your oil will go to the left to your bar. You just pop the tab on this, go over here and get your oil. Now this is 30 weight oil. You can buy it at Walmart. You see it says SAE 30. I buy it by the gallon when I can. You can buy it from your dealer, Lowe's, Home Depot, hardware store that sells chainsaws, and bar oil mixture. Okay, fill your oil to the top. Do one of them at a time. Don't get in a hurry. I've known people to put gas in their oil and oil in their gas. Pour it. Just keep up what you're doing. All right, come to the fuel side. I've already got my mixture mixed up in my gas, and I'm going to fill the saw. Fill the saw up to the top. Okay, in doing so, make sure when you put these back on that they fit properly and snug. Just kind of feel them, because when you lay your saw over, you don't want anything to leak out. Okay, friends and neighbors, I want to demonstrate to you just a little bit of techniques that I use when I'm cutting a tree down, or layman terms, falling a tree. I like using a hard hat helmet. These have ear protection and a face shield. I also like wearing safety glasses or sunglasses when I'm cutting a tree. You have a lot of bark, dust, shavings that fly up and get into your eyes. Now I stress this very much. You need to have as much safety equipment with you as you can. The helmet and all is very expensive. Most saw shops that sell chainsaws will sell this. This is an Echo brand. I just picked it up because it was reasonable. But your head and your body is real important as far as being real safe when you're cutting a tree. What I'd like to do, I'm going to crank my saw. I'm going to go over here, I'm going to cut this tree. I'm going to cut it on the front side. As you can see, the tree is leaning. I'm going to notch it just a little bit, and then I'm going to ring the tree, and then I'm going to cut the tree down and let it fall. I stress to you, if you're not comfortable in cutting trees down, have not had very much practice at it, find a tree service company, have somebody to help you or show you their technique of cutting a tree. Please don't cut a tree near your house, around power lines, structure. If you have friends with you, make sure they're in the clear. Once you cut this tree, there's no telling which way it's going to fall. I am anticipating on the tree to fall this way, but it could go different ways. It's a gust of wind, something of that nature. So please be careful when you decide that you want to try to cut a tree down. If the tree, like I said before, if it's near your house or power lines or cars or buildings, I recommend that you contact a licensed, bonded tree service company. These guys are professionals. They know what they're doing. For instance, if the tree gets away and it damaged the property, they are licensed, insured, and bonded. Their insurance will cover the damage. Be safe. Like I said, I'm fixing to crank my saw and we're going to follow the tree. Okay, here we go. Okay, friends and neighbors, I've cut the tree down, or in layman terms, like I said, I have fallen the tree. I'd like to go over with you about how I cut firewood with my measuring stick, and I'll cut a few sticks off. Then I'm going to cut a few limbs off. Be very careful. This machine does not love you. This machine will hurt you very badly. You control the machine. Do not let the machine control you, okay? Be very cautious of what you're doing. I'll saw a few limbs off, then I'll saw a few sticks of firewood and demonstrate to you my procedure of doing things. All right, let me get my pole. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I just demonstrated to you how I go about cutting a tree. Let me explain this to you about my saw right quick. This is called a chain brake. You lock your saw. You can rev the motor up and your chain will not spin. To release it, you pull this back. This is a safety feature that Steel and Husqvarna and a few other companies have implemented onto their saws for your safety. Okay, therefore, I hope you learn a little bit of something about falling a tree. I've cut quite a few trees in my lifetime. Sometimes I'm successful, sometimes they wedge, get lodged into other trees. Please be careful. It's a rule of thumb. If you have a neighbor, a friend, a relative that can be with you, make sure they're in the clear in case something was to happen. Whether the saw kicks back or a limb pops back and hits you, please be careful. When my father was living, my dad cut logs for 30 years or more. He was an expert in cutting trees. One time he cut a limb, it was in a bind, it had pressure on it, it flew up and broke my father's nose. So there's hidden dangers when you're cutting wood. Please be careful and exercise and be aware of your surroundings. Okay, friends and neighbors, I hope you enjoyed watching this little videotape of me cutting the tree and falling the tree. Like I said, I hope you use safe practices. What little bit I've showed you, maybe it'll be useful to you. If you would like to further see different things later on in the future, like us and subscribe us, and we will continue this later on. Hope you have a good day, and y'all be safe.